Hi everyone, welcome. Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, time for Stampin' with Denise. I'm so glad you're here. I have another cute Christmas card. I'm pulling a stamp set out that carried over from last year that hasn't had much love this season, so I thought I'd give it a little bit of love. I am so glad you're here with me tonight. Um, Little housekeeping, please, if you like my video, please give me some hearts. Rather than a thumbs up, Facebook likes the hearts better, so please do that. It helps my video be seen in the algorithm, so please do that. I appreciate it. If you like what you see and you share my video, please comment share down in the comments. You'll get a chance to win the project that I work on tonight. And the winner from last week was Linda Jones. If you recall, I made this cute card for you, showed you how to use up scraps of your gorgeous DSP to make a card. And this design really could be from any occasion. Just depends what paper and sentiment you use. So, because Linda shared and commented, her name was chosen, and she'll get this card. So I'll get that out to you very soon, Linda. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, I do welcome you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And then once you do that, hit the little blue bell to be alerted to notifications. Or you'll be alerted whenever I upload a new video, which is most often Monday evenings. So, that being said, I think we are going to go ahead and get started. But before I do, a couple of things. Stampin' Up! Did put out get you a gift from me for orders over $50. If your order is over $150, don't use the host code because you'll earn your own host benefits, okay? So, now I am going to switch the view and we will get started. Okay, there we go. So, the carryover stamp set that I decided to make a card with was this cute little, was the penguins. And I just think it's so cute. I love it. And I hadn't used it this season, so I decided it was time. So, super simple. Super simple. This is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 inch heavy basic white, cut in half. Or, this is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So it makes it 8.5 by 5.5. I'm folding it in half, and this will be our card base. Okay, using my bone folder to get a nice crisp edge. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now, a color I don't use very much is Pacific Pride, or Pacific Point. I don't know where that other came from. Pacific Point, okay? This piece is 4 by 5.25, and this is going to be our mat that we'll build our card on. Now you might notice I used some retired paper from Celebration. This was with the silver. Remember, there were silver and gold dots and silver and gold stripes. So I just pulled out the silver dots, thought it made a cute, it worked well with this. And but really you could use anything. The whole background could be your designer series paper. It really doesn't make any difference. It's just happened to be something I had that I hadn't used, and I thought I'd pull it out and use it. I don't like to use retired products on my supplies, but every once in a while I will. And I'll let you know that. Okay. And that piece of paper, let me see, is 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. Now this piece, the Designer Series paper I'm using is actually from the Designer Series paper Storybook Gnomes. Okay. We've got this cute little gnome paper with great Christmas. I like that kind of Nordic looking design on the back there. So it has there's some great paper in here that you don't even have to use the gnomes. So I like those little trees too. Those make nice cards. There's some different snowflakes, and I think this is, yep, and then this is the one I'm using. So there you go. This piece is 3 by 3 7/8. Now before I put my adhesive on here, I'm going to show you. You'll see that this overlaps. And you know what? That's okay, because we're going to put ribbon right over it. It doesn't have to be exact, and it's not even going to show. And you know what? If you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but one piece, the DSP is just a skosh wider than the other. If that wasn't going to be covered up, I would be fixing that, but since there will be ribbon across there to hide that, I have no problem with that. So the great thing about paper, let me get my adhesive started. The great thing about working with paper and ink and stamps is sometimes there's not many mistakes that you make, but even if you do make a mistake, a lot of times either it can be fixed or you're the only one. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to orient it this way. You're the only one that notices it. I think we're our own worst critic. So I just want to kind of get an even border all the way around like I did on the bottom, and there we go. So there's that. Then the last thing we have to do before we attach this to our card base is put our ribbon on, because the ribbon will go around to the back of this. And this is the Balmy Blue double stitched ribbon. I really like this ribbon. It's almost like 2-in-1. It's got white, and then it has balmy blue, another balmy blue ribbon on top of it, and it's so cute. It's bright and cheery. I'm going to use glue dots. That's my preferred method. A lot of people wrap it around and tie it. Of course, this one doesn't have a bow on it, but a lot of people do that. Now this ribbon is a little bit wrinkly, and I think it has to do with the fact that there's 2 layers of ribbon here. So I will probably put a second glue dot or a third glue dot right in the center, just to kind of tack it down. So you can see I've put a glue dot, I don't know if you can tell, right there on my ribbon. Just going to wrap that around here, just like that. There we go. Perfect. And you can see it's got a little bit of a gap there. I mean, it's going to flatten out, but I'm going to put another glue dot on it just to kind of flatten it out a little bit. I think once I put my little penguin on there, it's not going to make as much of a difference. But there we go. It lays nice and flat now. No worries. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on my card base. Here's my host code I was talking about earlier. You can go to my website, denisewill.stampinup.net, and to place your order, you can shop. This is the host code on your order. When you're ordering, there's a place to put that. And that using that host code will get a gift from me. Okay, so there's that. The card base part is put together. Yay. Now we're going to do a little bit of stamping. The little penguin, I don't know if you can tell, I used these Deckled rectangles. They were new in the annual catalog that came out in May. And you know, I hadn't really, again, something else I hadn't used. I don't know if you can tell. They're, let me see if I can find something dark. I know what I'll do. Let me get, I've already die cut it out, cut them out. Where are they at? Here they are. Let me put it up against this dark. You can see the edges of them. They're just a little bit raggedy, for lack of a better word. They're really cute, but you know what? You could use any rectangle you have for this. You don't have to use the Deckled ones. But if you did, I used the third from the smallest to cut out my card, my piece of cardstock. And this is Basic Whisper White, Basic White, just the regular, not the heavyweight stuff. Okay, we're going to start stamping. I'm going to get my foam mat since I'm using photopolymer stamps. Yay. We're going to put this. Oh, I have the wrong stamp. No, I don't. I was thinking I had the wrong stamp on my block, but I don't. Okay, we're going to put this. And because I'm putting this sentiment down here, I'm moving my penguin up a little bit. It's not going to be centered. It's going to be a little more toward the top, okay? So I'm going to get this good and inked up. And we will, oops. There we go. Right about there. And I like that. I like this photopolymer stamps because they make it easy to you know, see where you're stamping. I pulled the eyes, the little eye stamps out, but you know what? They're already on there, so I don't need those. Cool. So I'm going to put that Memento Tuxedo Black ink away. Next thing we have here, we have our hat. I'm going to stamp that in Pacific Point. Again, I don't use this very often, so I'm kind of excited that it, I probably haven't used it since last Christmas, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to ink up the hat. And again, because it's photopolymer, it's really easy to see. I can see the edge of the penguin's head as I'm stamping down. So I know that I get a good placement. Okay? Okay, let me put my inky stamps out of the way here so I don't get ink on them. And while we have that ink out, I think I will go ahead and stamp my sentiment. I've pulled the Be Cool, Be Chill, Be Merry out, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that while I have the ink pad out. Here we go. Perfect. That there. And the last thing I need to stamp was my little penguin. Here he is I got to put his feet and his beak on, okay? And for that I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie. Again, another color. I'm not fond of orange, but you know, sometimes you need it for those accents. And in this case, they work perfect for his beak. I just want to do a test stamp over here real quick. Yep, that's looking good. Okay. And because I can see, there we go. There's his beak. And let's get his feet. They're going to go right there. Okay. Don't need a lot of ink. There we are. And that's the stamping. That's super simple. You know, I had someone tell me this weekend, I was at an event, I don't have a creative bone in my body. I can't do that. You know what? I can't draw. I can't paint. About all I can do is color. And this is kind of like coloring, to be perfectly honest. So, the stamps do all the hard work and the paper and everything. You just have to put it together. So I'm going to cut this out with my die cut, my banner die cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. I love the stitch look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares, and 4 of these pennant banners. Now I am going to get out my mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. So let's get that out. Let me put my plate. And there's never any question because it tells me right here what my sandwich should be. So, yep, I'm seeing, looking at the other side. So I'm going to put that in here like this. Actually, what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to line my die up right here. And I'm going to use a piece of washi tape. I've shown you this before. I've done it before. I just got to find the edge of my washi tape. There it is. Put a little piece to hold my die in place. You know, sometimes you think you don't need it, but it ends up sliding around on you at the last minute. You're just better off to put it on there. Then you don't have to worry. Now it's going to stay in place. Okay, and I have my top plate. Beautiful. Now I'm going to run this through. I love this little machine. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way. I'll just leave that together. I'll fix that later. And there's my sentiment. Yay! Be cool, be chill, be merry. Love it, love it, love it. And I am going to use my adhesive and my stamp and seal. See, I do what I tell everybody not to do, is not to pull it. Oh well. Do as I say, not as I do, right? Again, in crafting, there's not very many mistakes, and I use that in air quotes, that can't be fixed. So, I am going to attach this to my card front with my dimensionals, just these little foam squares. No, I'm not going to put one in the middle because it might end up on my ribbon. I'll just do it like this. And there's one more touch after we put this on that I just realized we need to do. It may not be very evident to you on camera. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. So my sentiment's just below my ribbon. And there we go. And where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Need to add, or at least I did on this, so I know you can't see it very well. I don't know, I can see it, but I don't know if you can. I put some Winkostella on his hat. Winkostella is like the best stuff. It's glitter in this pen, and you just kind of paint it on where you want it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on there. Just enough to catch the, you know, the light when your recipient opens the card. Okay. Yep, that works perfect. Yep. There we go. Okay, so that's as easy as it is. And this would be a super easy card to mass produce for Christmas cards. So with that being said, I think we are all done for tonight. I will see you next week. If you're in the U.S. and celebrating Thanksgiving, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey. I will see you then next week. That'll be on Cyber Monday, that'll be November 28th, I will see you right back here for another holiday card or project. I might do a 3D project. I don't know. We'll see. But I look forward to seeing y'all. Bye now. Take care.